Hey y'all, it's Ask Dr. B again. Someone just asked me a very brave question. They asked me, how do I know if I'm the problem? And this again is in the context of psychological safety in the workplace. So this person wants to know, like, how do you know when it's not the company's culture, it's not your leader, but it's you? The first thing I want to say is that is a very powerful question to ask. And it really shows self-awareness as well as emotional maturity. And I wanted to give this some thought before I responded, because in environments where psychological safety is lacking, it's common for people, especially Black women in the workplace, to internalize that dysfunction and ask the question, is it me? The first thing I think you need to do is assess whether it's a pattern or isolated incidents. Is this a recurring pattern across organizations, leaderships, teams, or is this isolated to this specific role in this specific context? Because if it's a pattern that you've noticed, or if it's isolated, we have to determine whether or not it's the workplace culture or whether it's something that you're doing that's contributing to this lack of psychological safety. If this is specific to your current environment, then it's likely not you. It could possibly be the company's culture. And the other thing I would think about is alignment. And this is really key in this kind of a situation. If your values, your communication style, or the way you work doesn't align with your work environment, that's a mismatch. And sometimes mismatches or incompatibility causes and contributes to conflict in a workplace. So if you're out of alignment, or you feel like your company is out of alignment with your values, sometimes spaces aren't built for us. And if the space isn't built for you, you will not thrive in that space. And that's going to look like being the problem. Do the gut check. I think all of us need to do the gut check. And the gut check is when we have to rely on our intuition. We have to know when it's time to fight those battles, the formal way that companies want you to fight those battles. And also, sometimes you need to get an outside perspective. I have so many intelligent, wise friends that do not work where I work. And sometimes I'll just talk to them and say, hey, this is what happened. Here are the players. This is what I said. This is what they said. This is what happened. What do you think? Did I do something? Could I have done something better? It's always really good to get that outside perspective, because when you're in the trenches, you're not really objective, or you can't really be objective. Just like when you're enthralled in a workplace conflict, you might not always be objective. So it's easy for me, not easy, but it's easier for me to help someone navigate conflict than it is for me to navigate conflict that I'm involved in. And that's just natural. That's just human nature. So, but bottom line is, if you're constantly doubting yourself or walking on eggshells, being penalized just for being who you are, you're probably reacting to a lack of psychological safety in your workplace, which means you're probably not causing it. We have to grow. This growth mindset that everyone's sick of hearing about, growth is very important, but try not to confuse self-reflection with self-blame. It's really tricky, and that's why I think it's important for us to have advocates in the workplace, going beyond mentors and sponsors, but actual advocates, people that you can call on when you need help, like navigating these types of situations, especially when there's an identity threat, or a threat to your identity. So that's my advice. If you have room to grow, that's great. If you don't, you just have to start evaluating. We spend so much time in workplaces that, one, may not want us, two, may not be ready for us, three, may not value us, or it's just not the right fit. So we have to take the time to do these self-evaluations, you guys, just to determine whether or not you're in a place where you can grow. So that is my advice to the question that I received. Am I the problem?